Welcome to BattleHawks Hub Postgame. I'm Randy Carricker. Judy Strotter is with us, and it's great to have you with us on the BattleHawks Hub Postgame, brought to you by Hot Shots, St. Louis home for all of the games, all the time since 1990. Find yours at hotshotsnet.com. Also by DraftKings. The crown is yours. And by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. You want to check out Lee's with the new Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken BattleHawks box. You can score up to 30% off BattleHawks tickets, plus get 4 of their famous breast strips and a side of potato wedges for just $8.99 only at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. All right, Judy, we got to find out about this game. See, Judy's still in her superfan garb there. How you doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got my cool, bomber jacket, the BattleHawks Mafia on. Yep, I've got my, So,
It's a law. A 12-6.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun today.
A 12-6 victory over Arlington. What made it fun? What was great about tonight at the Dome?
Tonight at the Dome, it was really cool. So I know that we kind of had the rest of the St. Louis sports working against us, especially the Blues. But what was super cool is that one, like they gave us the spirit sticks where we could just bang those like crazy. And that helped everything get really loud, even though we were probably missing about 8,000 people that we would have normally had. But it really helped fill in the gaps. But what was even cooler, though, too, is that every time the Blues scored, they actually stopped and put it up on, the Jumbotron.
Cool.
There. So it was really cool because it was so cohesive. It was very streamlined. It was awesome. I absolutely had a blast. And it was really cool because the people that were there were 100% in, and it was a lot of fun.
The BattleHawks improved to 4-2 on the season. Kind of a slow start to this game. Arlington missed a field goal after a reversed touchdown. The receiver was out of bounds, and so that helps the BattleHawks. And that first drive, man, for Arlington, they go 11 plays, 42 yards, 757. They take up more than half of the first quarter, and then they miss a field goal. And that kind of turned the momentum in the favor of the BattleHawks a little bit, I thought.
It really did, and I'll tell you, it was those spirit sticks that really turned it around. I mean, we really threw them off their game with the spirit sticks. No joke. It kind of, the first half of the game was really odd. There were just all sorts of things where you're like, oh, like a play was made. And then they're like, hang on, wait a second. It wasn't quite made. Let's do this instead. It was kind of a weird and very slow first half. Actually, I kind of thought the whole game was a little slow. But the fact that we had the momentum and our fans were in it really helped, keep everything going. That was one of my favorite things about last week's game with the Panthers, that the clock was so fast. Like, it wound down so fast. And I couldn't even believe that we were through one half. And then next thing you know, we're down, we're like, the game is over. It was last week's game was so exciting. I mean, obviously, even if it's a slow game this week, we pulled out a win. Right. This was a huge win.
And to your point, the first half did take an hour and a half. And you mentioned some of the stoppages and some of the just lurching play. In the first half, you had that sack fumble by the BattleHawks. The BattleHawks recover and they get the turnover, but Arlington challenges it and it's denied. And I thought that was a bad move by Bob Stoops, that he challenged that one because it looked pretty obvious that the sack fumble was going to wind up in the BattleHawks' hands. It did, and then at the 5:22 mark of the first half, the BattleHawks go for it on 1st and goal from the 4, and Duggan goes incomplete to Butler, and we're thinking, okay, this is not good. That's 5:22 left in the first half. BattleHawks get the ball back, and then with 1:54 left, Duggan hits Butler for 30, the only touchdown of the game to make it 6-0. I thought that was the key point of the game, Judy, when they miss on the 4th and goal, they get the ball back, and they drive down for the 30-yard touchdown pass.
That was super exciting. And like, when you talk about the challenges that they put out, because Coach Beck is a mastermind when it comes to challenges and winning them. The rest of the league is like, well, if Beck can do it, we can do it. I've kind of been seeing, like, other teams think like they're grasping at straws and they're trying to get these, and it's just not working because I was talking last week about the fact that one of the things with the UFL is that you have to be like super specific with your challenge. And if you don't have it down to exactly what you're trying to challenge, then it's an automatic no. And I kind of think that Beck has set this, precedence that he just, I don't know, like against Arlington, just a few weeks ago when we played them, I guess that was just 2 weeks ago, 99, craziest holding call I've ever seen, dug deep out of a bag. Somehow he made it happen. And still, I mean, it's 2 weeks later and I'm still thinking about it, still talking about it. The guy just makes these challenges happen and I absolutely love it. But because of things like that, the other teams are like, well, if Beck can do it, we can do it. But
and I think one of the things that Anthony Beck has is all of that NFL experience. I think he's got the best staff in the league. And I know everybody has a lot of NFL experience, but that goes to the people that are up in the booth that are watching these plays and calling for the replays. And you're right. The Battlehawks do a great job on the replays. So let's move ahead. Last play of the first half, Blankenship hits the field goal to make it 9-0. And we're
real
feeling
fast. Can I just kind of like piggyback on what you just said, like with the people in the booth and this and that? That play actually from 2 weeks ago, 99 himself told Beck, hey, holding. He actually, there was no replay from whatever. He took his player's word for it. And that there was no replay from the booth. Like, that's part of why I love that guy, that he believes in his players and he took his word for it and put our super challenge on the line for him, and we won it.
Yeah, it's great to trust your players until they're wrong.
Right.
But it is. No, I think the players, that gets guys to play harder for him, doesn't it? And that's one thing about tonight's game. And you see pretty consistently from the Battlehawks that the effort is great.
Yes. There definitely was not a lack of effort tonight. They did amazing. A lot of stops, a lot of excitement. The offense was flat, but I wasn't, I guess, sad about it or upset about it, because I've been pretty hard on our offense so far this season. And I know that we're in game 6 and, we're basically on the latter end of the season. And I have been pretty hard on our offense. And even though tonight it was very flat, I feel like all the right pieces were in place, and we were making the right moves. They just didn't kind of pan out. But I've also said that the Renegades are the dark horse of the league, that they're very underestimated. Even though they're doing a great job, people still underestimate them. And so I think we really did a great job against them.
Yeah, Arlington only had 171 yards of offense. The Battlehawks had 210. Dugan only passed for 93 yards. And the Battlehawks are going to have to get more out of their passing game if they want to win this league. If they're going to win in the playoffs, they've got to get more out of the passing game. The passing game did come up with 145 total yards. Actually, the Battlehawks only had the 171 yards, 12 points, and 93 through the air. And Arlington had 210, 145 through the air. So when you only have 171 yards, Judy, and only 93 through the air, that's just not good enough to win any level of football.
No, and that has been my biggest complaint this entire season, is that we have basically changed our entire way that we play. When we had McCarron, we were very pass heavy. And then it's almost like, and it was time for us to move away from McCarron. For as sad as that made me, it was time. But it was like, it's almost like we changed the entire way that we played. And that's what I've been so critical of the last, 5-6 weeks, is that we're running too much. We're not passing enough. I was so impressed with the play calling last week. Tonight, it was flat. Ultimately we did bring out a win, and that's what's important. But if tonight's performance is indicative of what we're going to do next week, then the championship is not ours. Because DC, and especially since we're going to play DC our last game on the road, We have got to be ready for that. 100%.
Judy, do you think Duggan is the guy? 7 of 19 for 93 tonight. Had a touchdown, didn't get picked off, but still only completing 36.8% of his passes, passer rating of 70.7. But 7 of 19, is that good enough?
No.
No.
And I'll tell you, I probably was his biggest fan, and defended him from when he did go in against the Renegades a few weeks ago. I was so proud of him last week. Definitely, like, even his run game fell short this week. I know that I myself am grasping at straws. I would love to see Cordero. I would love that. There was something about everything I saw with him during training camp that there was just something about him that I thought he had. I still think that Max can do it. It almost kind of feels like he's choking a little bit. That the pressure is so much on him, and this city is so into it that it's almost like he's choking a little bit.
Yeah, a 12-6 victory for the BattleHawks over the Renegades tonight. That's Judy. I'm Randy. It's BattleHawks Hub Postgame presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Fried Chicken. By the way, you got to see this. I don't know if you've seen this so far, Judy, but look what I got.
That's so cool.
I got the Lee's Famous Recipe BattleHawks box, and it's delicious.
Oh my gosh! So I got to go to Lee's.
Yeah, there it is, $8.99, and it's a great deal. And the chicken is fabulous. And Matthew, who's producing for us tonight, he loves the potato wedges, and they are fantastic. Plus 30% off BattleHawks tickets. So get to Lee's Famous Recipe Fried Chicken and check it out. I think you'll love it.
Yeah. So a fun thing that we could do with Lee's Famous Chicken and really make it even more famous than it already is. And I know that we're talking about football, but the Blues, they were what's up tonight. And it was so fun. It was cool to see the whole city just rocking tonight. But the whole point of my story is that Gloria was our thing in 2019. Here in 2025, Jobu is our thing. And his whole thing is cigars, rum, and then the chicken. And I know it was KFC in the movie, but here in St. Louis, it's going to be Lee's.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get him going with the Blues. And I would imagine that the Lee's Famous Recipe BattleHawks box is a staple at BattleHawks tailgates. And Judy, I know you're a veteran BattleHawks tailgater, so you got to have the Lee's Famous Recipe fried chicken out there too.
Absolutely, 100%. I will tell you that oddly enough, on a Friday afternoon, was one of the funnest tailgates that we've had so far this season. Everybody was super into it. Some of the biggest fans were there. Tailgating was exceptionally fun today.
It's Friday Night Lights. Of course, it's got to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to give you my player of the game, and mine is obvious. Number 7, Pito Tamoapeno. He had 2 sacks. He had a couple of forced fumbles. He had 1 fumble recovery. And I'm going to go with our best defensive players with Pita as my BattleHawks player of the game. Judy, who are you choosing?
So, Pita is incredible, and I love him, and super fan. However, I'm also a pretty great fan of Mr. Number 3, Chris Payton-Jones. I thought he also did exceptional this evening. Yeah, Peter might have outplayed him a little bit. Just maybe a little bit. But I still think that Chris Payton-Jones did an amazing job tonight. I was so proud of him. He did an incredible job. I absolutely am on board with his performance tonight.
And had a huge interception, had another pass breakup, and man, he's been playing great. Had a tackle for the BattleHawks as well, and he's another great choice as the player of the game. All right, play of the game tonight.
Hey, Randy, do you think for fun? So Chris Payton-Jones came on the show a few weeks ago, I think 4 weeks ago, but ever since he's come on the show, he has just been like wildfire. Do you think that maybe we're his good luck charm? Do you think that's even possible?
It's called the BattleHawks Hub Show Bump. It's absolutely a thing. Yeah, and there's no doubt that Chris Payton-Jones is playing better because he came on this show, and he should be advising all of his teammates to come on this show.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am still really hoping that Rodrigo Blankenship will come on the show. That guy is just something special. I absolutely adore him. And when he goes to the NFL next year, I 100%, unless he goes to the Rams, that'll be a little tough for me to root for him. But I will root for him for whatever team he goes to. He is rock solid. He's so fun. I just adore him. He's amazing. I love Rodrigo Blankenship.
Are you going to give him the play of the game?
Yeah. 100%.
He had
it's
53-yard field goal with 6:28 to go. The Battlehawks wind up winning 12-6, and that really put Arlington behind the eight ball, because Arlington was forced into a situation where they had to score a touchdown to tie or go ahead rather than get themselves into field goal position. So I think that was a huge play, the 53-yard field goal with 6:28 to go.
So I just kind of want to say, when you say 53 yards, and like the way that you just put it out there, it was no big deal. The guy just, kicked 53 yards. That's how good Rodrigo Blankenship is, that it's no big deal for him to kick a 53-yard field goal. Like, he is just incredible. I absolutely think he's amazing.
Yeah.
Any other team except for, and I'll tell you, it's hard for me to say this too, but the Stallions, they have Mavis, the thicker kicker.
Yep.
I know. So, I know we're gonna come down to the showdown with the Battlehawks and the Stallions. I already know how it's gonna go, and here we're gonna have Blankenship against Mavis. I mean, that's gonna be tough. But anyway, outside of our, one of our fan favorites, who's gonna beat Rodrigo Blankenship? No one. He is so talented. The NFL caliber that he is just, it's wow.
Yeah, and this isn't a league where teams are scoring 4, 5, 6 touchdowns every week. So you need to have a great kicker, and Rodrigo Blankenship definitely is that for the Battlehawks.
Yeah.
So
and so one of the things I know that's important to St. Louis is, we love the people that love us. And he has done a really awesome job of embracing the city and, doing the fun things with us and all of those things. And it's really cool. I'm not a huge social media person, but like, I'll check it out. And, people all the time respect the specs, and, he's the dude. So I absolutely, I love it because he loves us and we love him.
Great call for the play of the game. I'm going to go as my play of the game. After he hits that field goal, Arlington looks like they're going to drive down the field, and Luis Perez fumbles. It's forced by Cole and recovered by Whiteside. And I thought that was the play of the game, because then the Battlehawks were able to go down and pretty much put the game away from a time standpoint. Obviously, you're in a situation where you don't want Arlington to score a touchdown there. So I think getting the ball back and the forced fumble by Cole and the recovery by Whiteside, for me, that's my Battlehawks play of the game. And the defense was awesome
a great
tonight.
Play.
Boy, the defense played great.
Oh, the defense really played amazing. And honestly, I think that the Renegades defense played well too.
They did.
Yeah. And a lot of times though, when a game is very defensive heavy, that's kind of why it honestly seems kind of lame. I'm just going to come out and say it seems kind of lame, and it goes so slow when a game is really defensive heavy. And tonight it really was defensive heavy. But I mean, I'm not sad about it. I'm not upset about it.
No, hey, we'll take a 12-6 win. This is BattleHawks
Absolutely.
Hub Postgame, and Judy and I are brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe Fried Chicken. By the way, Sports Hub STL postgame shows are brought to you in part by Hot Shots, who invite you to come out to their St. Charles location on Sunday, June 1st to celebrate their 35th anniversary. The fun starts at noon with a parking lot party featuring the Budweiser Clydesdales. Prizes will be given away all day. There's a darts tournament at noon, a bags tournament, cornhole at 2, plus a chance to win Hot Shot tacos for a year if you can win the taco eating contest. Congratulations to Hot Shots on 35 years. Hot Shots, St. Louis home for all the games all the time since 1990. Find yours at hotshotsnet.com. And don't forget, you can see Riz and Rafe out at that party on June 1st. They're going to be celeb bartenders from St. Louis City SC. Louie and Bushwhacker are going to be out there. So it's going to be an awesome day out at Hot Shots on June 1st, celebrating their 35th anniversary. Judy, we want to get you out there.
Actually, I think that sounds like a great time. Hearing you say that and looking at the lineup, that looks like the best time ever. But can you also believe that Hot Shots is younger than you and I?
I am
That seems
amazed by that.
crazy.
Yeah,
That
it
seems
is.
absolutely crazy. It is younger than you and I. Hot Shots is younger than you and I.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. You don't need to rub it in. You just
That's serious,
saying it
though.
once is fine. Okay.
Randy hasn't put it out there how nice enough he was. So Luke's out of town. He's at a wedding and he's having the time of his life in Texas, especially since we beat the Renegades. But he's having the time of his life. And in his absence, Randy stepped in like the amazing person that he is and is stealing the show and appreciate so much that you are just as cool as you are and as knowledgeable as you are. And thank you so much for taking your time to host the show tonight.
Oh, I'm having a great time with it. Hey, I want to touch on next week. If we go to Memphis, what should we look for from the Battlehawks and the Showboats next week?
I mean, honestly, the Showboats are showing nothing. So, you know what?
So
You know what we
that's a
can
game that
expect next
the
week?
Battlehawks should win then, right?
Oh my gosh, if they don't, then we're in trouble. But you know what we can expect next week? That there will be more Battlehawks fans there than there will be Showboats fans. That is a Judy guarantee.
Are you going?
I wish. I love being a parent until, it interferes with my, sports schedule. So I've got a dance competition next weekend, so I cannot go to Memphis. But I will definitely be there in spirit.
Okay. Should be a great night, a great day next week. Hey, and by the way, how did you like our first Friday night home game?
I was not sure what to think. I think that there's just so much going on in St. Louis right now in a great way that it was really easy for us to have a Friday night home game. The biggest downside was that the Blues were playing too. So we were in a huge competition on a must-win game. And I think that that's kind of like I said, why we're missing about 8,000 fans. But the energy was great. Actually, the tailgating was more fun today than it has been on the weekends. St. Louis was all in it. I absolutely loved it. It was also super fun to take a half day on a Friday.
Good job. Hey, and again, Battlehawks Hub Postgame brought to you by Hot Shots, St. Louis home for all of the games all the time since 1990. Find yours at hotshotsnet.com. By DraftKings, the crown is yours. And by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. You want to check out Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken's Battlehawks box so you can score up to 30% off Battlehawks tickets, plus get 4 of the famous breast strips and a side of potato wedges for just $8.99, only at Lee's, famous for chicken. And I had it for dinner tonight, and it was spectacular. So when you get the opportunity, you need to check it out. Judy, this has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And you have a really cool, box souvenir for your Lee's dinner.
Oh yeah, here we go. There it is. There. There's the box. It's kind of
There
backwards.
it is.
There's the BattleHawks box from Lee's. Yeah. So
Randy,
I
you
loved
know
it.
that you're one of my favorite people ever, and I always love being able to talk sports with you. It's, that's your forte. It's what you're incredible at. But I always love when you take the time and hang out and.
Well, you're a great sports fan. It's great talking sports with you, and great to do a show with you. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, super fun.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Judy. That's Judy. I'm Randy. That has been BattleHawks Hub Postgame after a BattleHawks 12-6 win over the Renegades. And, of course, everything here at Sports Hub STL is brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Use promo code STL Sports and go to the DraftKings Pick 6 website, and you'll have a lot of fun picking out player up and down, high or low. So you want to do it with DraftKings Pick 6.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
I thought you did great.
All right, Battlehawks, Blues, Cardinals. Whenever there's a game, there's a post game right here at Sports Hub STL, and check it out here on YouTube. Judy, we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Caw-caw!
That's Judy. Thanks to Matthew Rocchio for helping us out as our producer today. I'm Randy Carricker, and we will see you next time. Luke will be back for Battlehawks Hub post game here on Sports Hub STL.